Hello again, my friends, fellow knife collectors and amphibians out there. I'm just going to show you a couple of Rough Rider folders that I've got that I've not actually talked about before. I was going to put some other knives up as well, which I will do maybe tomorrow or so, because I've realised I've not actually shown all my knives off yet. But in the meantime, I just want to quickly discuss with you something that's popped up over the last day. I mentioned a short time ago about the changes to the knife laws, the amendments of 2019, and talking about things like people are having flipper knives confiscated because they're being designated as being flick knives, because it's a bit ambiguous about the definitions when you actually look at it. It's based on the 1958-59 flick knife rulings. And it's all a bit confusing because some of it is actually not law and it's no legislation, and it was pointed out to me that it's actually case law and it's not actually been tried in court yet. There's obviously that fact I mentioned about how I've had a flipper knife confiscated by the customs people because they've designated it as a flick knife, which I wasn't very happy about. This also happened to somebody else. It's happening. However, the oh yeah, well, that was my point. I was jabbering a little bit there. I had an email come through from Springfield's. It was sent out to all their subscribers. Obviously, Springfield is one of the sites that I use to buy my knives and so on for, and so on. And it said that there's going to be a price increase because come April, part of the legislation is coming into effect. So I'll explain what that is in a moment, but I've had anyway. I had a look online, and yeah, if you actually type in Offensive Weapons Act 2019, it's up there now. The government websites, they've kind of got rid of all the old, out-of-date stuff, and the new version of the laws are there. And this is the final amendment, apparently, to the legislation, and this is what's going to be brought in April. But yeah, the easiest way to find it is just go on there and just type in Offensive Weapons Act 2019, and it'll come straight up. It's on the DirectGov website. Now, there are obviously mistakes, and there's a few websites out there that've got the wrong kind of information up there, but this is the latest one. It's just been published. It's quite a big document. I had a look at it to see what, if because apparently some of it isn't the same as what it was last year. They've amended it again a little bit, made it a little bit easier to understand, because it was realised that there was a few conflicting statements on it. And the good news for us is I couldn't find the section that said about the blade limit and cutting edge limit changing round. Whereas before it used to say a 3-inch cutting edge on a folding knife, and then I found it actually said it was going to be the limit of a 3-inch blade, not cutting edge. That don't seem to be there now. There's a section about selling to under 18s mentioning that, but as far as the ruling goes, it looks like they're still sticking with the 3-inch blade, 3-inch cutting edge on a blade. So those who've got knives that are fraction over 3 inches, but have got cutting edge under 3 inches, like for instance the Kershaw Barlow is an example. It's just over 3 inches of blade, but the cutting edge is under 3 inches. It looks like it's going to be okay with that, but still need to be careful. Now, what has actually what it's about, this is what the Springfield's email was about. Reason why there's going to be a price increase is that from April, they're no longer going to be able to send by mail knives through the post with just through the post. It's got to go via a age verified delivery service. So, for instance, if you know, like at the moment now, the ones I use, I've registered with them. I've sent them an ID so they know it's me buying it. When the stuff gets delivered to my house, it just comes through the post, or a courier drops it off to my address with my name. Now, I could be a 10-year-old kid ordering these things under my name. There's no way of knowing that. So to stop that from happening, it is that the person receiving the knife, for instance, will have to show ID, very much how it is with Amazon. If anybody orders knives from Amazon in the UK, that's what happens. When the knife or anything to do with knives gets delivered, you've got to be over 18 and you've got to show ID before they'll hand it over to you. Well, basically, that's how it's going to be. And from what it was saying, that the courier services that are going to be used will have to be age identified, something or other, it said. But that's really where it's going to be. It's not going to be a major problem for anybody who legitimately buys knives. This is to stop youngsters or from buying knives, so about using the dad's address or something, you know. Yeah, I mean, anybody can send an ID photograph through the post or email. They actually want to see the physical person with some ID. The downside to it, of course, is it means they can now trace exactly who's getting what knives. Whether you agree that's a good idea or not, well, that's up to you. I personally don't care. I've got nothing to hide. I mean, I'm 60 in a few months. These days, I just don't care about that sort of stuff. It doesn't bother me anymore. I stay as legal as I possibly can do. I don't. My days of walking on the edge of breaking the law are long gone. I'm an honest citizen these days, honest officer. So anyway, that's basically all I've got to say. If that made any sense to you, please, I hope it did. I know I ramble a little bit. But yeah, so Offensive Weapons Act 2019 comes into effect in April. Now, I did have a look. It's a big document. When I get a chance, I'm going to have a proper read of it, because obviously the official document is there, but there's also another site that's got an easy read version of it, if you like. But it's essentially the same document, but it's been refined now. But this is the final draft. This is the one that's going through. So, anybody that's interested, have a look yourselves. Don't take my word for it. I will have a good look myself. I'll have a good read of the document just to find out exactly what's going on, because it also states clearly what things you can have in your home, what things you can't have in your home. You know, so there'll be no arguments after this saying, no, I am allowed this. You'll know definitely what you can and can't have. Again, like I said, I don't have anything illegal in the house. I'm very careful about that. But it's going to be a bit more difficult buying certain items now, that's for sure. So, with that, sorry, I've took a little bit too longer with that than I intended to, but I just wanted to give you that news. Anybody that's interested, have a look. If you're not interested, fine. It's up to you. Right then, first off, I've got a Rough Ryder Highland folding hunter here. Comes in a nice little pouch. It's not bad, it's not leather, but it's not bad. I've had this quite a long time. I forgot I had it actually. Yeah. Now before I show you this one, I just want to quickly put this one up. This is actually really, really nice. This is a little Rough Ryder folder that they do. Little folding hunter. Doesn't say an awful lot about it when you buy it. Doesn't tell you an awful lot. It just says that's wood. It's actually really nice wood. I don't think it's packer wood. I suppose it could be, but I don't think it is. It's nice. It actually has a really good finish on it. It's almost like ironwood. But yeah. But this is a really, really nice little folding hunter. Oh, here we go. Leaving fingerprints on the damn thing already. There we go. Now it's very small. If you've got big hands, you'll never be able to use this properly. I've only got little hands, but even I have trouble. It's not going to work that way. But it does work quite nicely this way. If you're holding it like this, it's a nice little thing. And it's such a shame they don't do a bigger version. A full-size version of this design would be wonderful, because it's really nice. But it's not a bad little knife. It's put together really well. Again, you know, it's one of the ones, if you don't have one, I'd get one. I'm going to be getting that little brass covers folding hunter thingy bob to do Rough Ryder. It's about the same size as this. I've been meaning to get it for months, but it's about the same size as this. But this obviously is it brass or copper? I can't remember now. But yeah, they're not bad. They work. I say that other little one. It's again, I've seen it. I've handled it, but I just haven't actually bought one myself. But I'll be getting one. It's only about £7. This was about £12, I think. It's a lovely little thing. If you can legally carry one of these, I would have one. It's big enough to do a job, small enough to stick in your fifth pocket. Look at that. Lovely little thing. Alright. Put you here for now. Out of the way, because you're not the one I was talking to talk about. So here we are. Some junk on that. Get off of there. So, the Highland Hunter. Put you all there. Alright. So what was it? It's a G10. It's finished ever so well. This is. Now you've got a couple of other things in the same style. You've got the to do a Bowie style fixed blade knife in this same sort of design. Not really a heavy duty knife, but it's kind of a camp knife. It's a 12-inch blade. I will be getting one day, but it's not high on my list. But it's a nice looking knife. As I say, it's got basically this type of design on the handle, and they've also got the same as this, but with a cleaver blade, which I will be getting. But just I haven't got the cash for that. It's not that important, but I want to get one at some point. But this is the Highland Bowie. Look at this. Isn't that lovely? Now this is decent. It's a decent sized hunter. It's finished off incredibly well. Look at that. Not a fault on it. A little bit of wobble there, just a little bit. Not a lot, but there is a little bit. So I wouldn't really say this is going to be a heavy user, but it's a pretty knife. It's the kind of thing if you just need a little bit of extra weight in your pocket, and you're not going to be banging around really hard. Just use it once or twice a day. That's, you know, the sort of thing. I mean, it's a hunter, but not a real hunter. But it's a nice looking little hunter. It's the kind of thing that won't be offensive if you pull it out. And it's nice, it looks good. A bit more engineering on this and it'd be even better. Again, if they'd have made a full-size version of this, made it stiffer, so they say there's no little bit wobble, but there is wobble. That eventually will cause a problem. After a bit of use on this pivot will start to wear and that will wobble like bugger. But for now, yeah, it's fine. It is a nice, sweet little hunter. Look at that. And it's sharp. Sharp enough to cut me if I don't really want to. But yeah, if you don't have one, I would get one. Look at the finish on this. Isn't that nice? They've done a decent job on it, and it's not an expensive knife either. Lanyard hole down here. You know, maybe I could give this a bit of a tap with a soft hammer, probably tighten this pivot up. I want it to take an awful lot to make this a bit stronger. But as it is, yeah. It's another stop me and buy one knife. There we go. And of course, as I showed you before, the this little darling of a knife. It's your baby brother, Hunter. Sitting there, waiting in the wings, saying, I'm big enough now, you can start using me. He's saying, no, not yet. He's got a bit more growing to do. But yeah, there we go. So, I shall say farewell, so long, arrivederci, have a good one, and I shall see you all down the road. Bye bye for now.